Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in. We are Art In Voyage, and we specialize in all kinds of luxury travel. Today, our CEO, Mikael will be talking to Mikael, the owner of Toro River Lodges, which is a luxury lodge located in a nature reserve that has the Big Five. They'll be discussing various safari topics, conservation, and all about the lodge. We hope you enjoy.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Michael, thank you for having us
Yes,
here.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
So, just a little bit of background story. It's the end of the year. I love to take my team to very unique places from time to time at the end of the year, usually because, in South Africa, things calm down or shut down pretty much, right? For a whole month. So it's usually the best opportunity. And it also helps them understand the destinations and help them understand what we do. And we were super lucky to basically find you here. When we got here, we had no idea. So Michael is the owner of Toro River Lodges, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Which right now encompass one lodge, but
Correct.
with several in projects.
Yep. We have a expansion for the. This is called Toro River Lodges.
Okay.
And we have expansion at Toro River Views, which is half a kilometer up on top of the hill here, right adjacent to us, the same river.
That's the place where we did the sundowner last night.
That's where we're at last
night.
So
since we're filming this, what we'll do is that we'll put on the podcast some videos of last night and some incredible shots.
Yeah.
Big gator.
Yeah.
Huge hippo getting back into the water. Absolutely stunning. Tell us a little bit how you came across this, because you're not a 10, 20-year owner. This is a new venture, right?
Yeah, this is I've only been in South Africa for I think it's about 2.5 years. Is the first time I ever came to South Africa. And so long story short, my business partner is South African, and he's a big bill fisherman, and I'm a big bill fisherman as well. And so we fish Guatemala and a lot in the Pacific together. We've fished a lot out there together. And he said, "Hey, come to Africa. And I was like, "Well, I've never lost anything in Africa. Why do I want to come to Africa?" So finally, I was like, "All right." He said, "Come." And gosh, that was in the June or so of two years ago, whatever that was. So 23 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. And just fell in love. And I was like, "Oh." I see. I have to get back.
Yeah, and, like most of us, the first time.
That was the first time, yeah. And we had talked, yeah. And so he was trying to look on taking on a business partner, because it was a family camp, and he was wanting to try to turn, because he's very, 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 very great guy. He's very conscious of the environment, and even though he's an avid hunter and fisherman, he's very responsible for nature. Takes responsibility for that, and so he has a passion of seeing that and seeing this area grow, conservation, protecting animals grow, and he kind of lit that fire, if you will.
We've all had that.
Yeah, in me, and I was like, oh gosh, it's cool. And so honestly, I think I was back here. I think he had called or something. I said, "Well, let me know. I might be interested in something." We talked. I think I was back here in like 2 months to talk to him again. So, and I think the first year I came back again, and then the next year I was here like 5 or 6 times. I was in Africa more than I was in America.
but this was a camp, right?
Was a camp, yeah.
So it was kind of a family home,
right.
Which, by the way, a lot of those private game reserves start this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be farmland.
Mm-hmm.
People decide to turn it back into its original state, which takes, I'm assuming, a lot of time to grow that old vegetation,
right,
that we used to have back then. And then drop the fence and create agreements to have this bit
to try to, yeah. And a lot of that had been done at the greater Makalali area. So there's 7 partners that are all together here that's come together. And so me and Brad are partners on this section of it. And so we all sit, at the table, but everybody in the whole group has the same goal, is to how do we get it bigger? How do we save more animals? How do we make this? How do we change? How do we do something so that when we're dead and gone, we made a change?
Made a difference.
Yeah, we made a difference for something.
So speaking of which, what is that difference? I mean, that particular want of yours, because we talked about that yesterday, and what really appealed me with that story is, like, you're not just a regular investor who comes in and says, I want to park my money here and make more money. There's way more than that to you.
Yeah. If you just want to park money somewhere and make more money, there's better places to do that.
AI, Bitcoin.
But yeah, so this is more of a passion. So I was here and Brad was telling me that, and there's some stats, you can look them up, but I think it's Kruger's last year, there were 400 and some odd rhino killed. That's over one a day on average in Kruger. And these poachers are just basically kill the animal, cut the horn off, and they leave it there. And they're doing this to export this for other countries and stuff. And you look at that being killed, and my partner told me, he said, the last live rhino will be on a private game reserve just like this because we go to far extremes to protect them, and that just, I don't know, just hit me, shit, we have a responsibility, to, do I want my kids to see it?
Yeah.
Do I want my grandchildren to see
Yeah.
it? Sorry, chokes me up.
No, and when you see them walking around, you just park the car there for 2-3 hours, and you just admire the majestic,
Yeah.
beast that they are, right?
It probably didn't hurt that the very first one I saw was a mother and probably a 2-month-old calf. This thing was not much bigger than a big dog, and it was bouncing back and forth at the game viewer because it'd never seen one before. It didn't know what was going on, and being all goofy. And I mean, it was cute. Oh my God, it was cute.
They're cute, but they grow up. Huh?
They grow up,
and then they get moody.
Yeah, I get moody, and it was just like, just all of that stuff hitting you. You're like, crap. People are trying to, take this thing, and we're going to have none of them left, and we can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, listen, we're not at a systemic problem. Once a species gets to where the DNA is too tight, you get down to X amount of, for different species, but you get down to 2 human beings, we're going to die out. Yeah, we're going to die out because there, there's not, the gene, it's just not there, right? And so, and we're not there with the white rhino, and there's no reason for us to get there. If we get there, this is completely a human race problem.
Yeah, big failure.
Yeah, big failure. We have the money, the talent, and the expertise to fix it. So it is completely on us as human beings. If this happens, this is our fault.
So let's touch on the fact that you made a good point. Says, if they are to be saved, then private game reserves are the future.
They are the future.
We talked about Kruger and how many got killed. Kruger is run by the South African government, but it's not just South Africa. We're not trying to pick at South Africa. There's a lot of other governments that are better at maybe building infrastructure and allowing others to run those things. There's still a lot of corruptions, but we know why people want the horn of the rhino, right? It's a Chinese or Asian superstition where people think that it gives them a high, but also maybe a better hard-on.
Yeah, it makes a man more virile or something. Some other, all that hocus pocus crap.
But the Chinese person or the Asian person, is not who is actually asking for that to be exported there, is not the one committing the crime, right?
Correct.
So it starts with addressing the problem here. Why do people come into those reserves to kill those rhinos and take the horn? There's something there that can be done more than just having an anti-poaching unit, right?
There is, and some education in the area and stuff, and trying to teach, and because and you can't condone someone killing the rhino, but who's killing the rhino is a local man trying to feed his wife and starving child.
Yep.
So you got a little bit of empathy there. You have to say, listen, put us all at that thing. What would I do to feed my starving child? There's probably not a lot I wouldn't do to feed my starving child. So I understand that problem. Education is there. We have to teach that. But you know what? We have to employ that guy if there's no jobs. So a place like this does exactly what you said. Hey, let's educate them. That's not true. B, you're going to see, your children aren't going to see rhinos if you keep this up. And C, I can give you a job now because we have people coming to look at this, and I can start fixing the problem right here.
Yep. Yeah, so dual purpose for this place,
It is.
which
it
is incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Teach.
And then
teach,
you bring
reteach.
people here, you make them stay here. They have a much better understanding, but also appreciation of what's out there. Game reserves are not zoos. They let people run free. They let not people.
Yeah.
If you let them people run free,
Be
the
less
leopard
people.
will get them. They let the wildlife run free. You don't intervene at all whatsoever. This is the circle of life.
This is a complete biosphere.
Yeah.
We do not, we don't intervene on animals killing animals. There, this is how it's,
Including
nature.
rhinos killing rhinos, right?
Rhinos, yeah. Unfortunately, we've lost 2 over the last 2 years, and it's 2 males fighting males. And I'm like, that's just nature. I don't want to lose them, but I can't break up. Well,
Yeah.
you couldn't break up the fight if you were there,
Nope.
but you're not. We're not there. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
We need to stop the man portion of it, not nature. Nature will take care of itself.
Beautiful place. Next project, you said it's by the river, right? Higher up.
The next project is higher up, is very beautiful as well. This is very beautiful. I love this. Different people are going to like different things. Some people are going to be like, oh no, I like sitting right here. I can hear the river in the background. I feel like I'm outside, inside. So the other one's going to have a little bit different feel. It's going to be a little, and so people are going to like what they like, right?
Yeah.
Some people are going to be the higher echelon, wants everything closed in, climate controlled, all that kind of stuff, and then some people are going to want the camp feel.
But it's important to say you're off the grid, fully solar, right?
We're fully off the grid. We're everything is 100% solar. The only thing we have to bring in is LP gas for hot water and
hot water,
hot water and cooking, just because we currently don't have the technology in the solar to get enough energy for that.
so lower carbon footprint, which is important as well. Yeah.
Right. All that stuff. Yes, we do it. We do a great job with all that stuff. We're actually building a greenhouse on property now. So we're going to do a lot of farm to table, so that, the stuff that you're eating was grown right over there, and we bring in local meats from the local, just so we try to buy our groceries and stuff out with very local stuff, getting all that stuff done, so that helps the economy too. Then that gives them jobs, right?
Yep.
And so they have to hire more people. So, circle of life.
Yeah, doing your part.
Doing your part.
Listen, we had an absolutely fantastic time. Like I said in our podcast yesterday, Kruger, right? That's usually what you hear when you come to South Africa. You've definitely changed our mind with that private game reserve. It's incredible. Great luck that Michael was actually here. You landed, yesterday, right? Straight from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, Tuesday I got in. Yeah.
And you're heading back next week.
I have to head back Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So the reason you're here is because the property just reopened under Newmark Management.
Newmark Management is opening the property, and kind of like the original Jurassic Park movie. There's a lot of things that are failing still. We need to get lined up.
One of my team members said yesterday, when do I see the dinosaurs? So maybe that's the future project.
Yeah, so I'm here fixing the last little bit of stuff there.
Well, Michael, thank you so much.
Sir,
it's been
I appreciate
pleasure.
it.
We've really enjoyed your hospitality. Thank you so much.
Same. Thanks for coming.
Guys, we'll see you on the next podcast.